I mean, yeah, I only ran a 5:10, a half, and almost a full marathon. That's like my legs are in great shape right now. Fucking jelly. Wore a knee brace, walking around like fucking peg leg Pete all day because I couldn't bend my damn right leg.
Hello, Frog Residence, Kermit speaking. Oh, hello, Mr. Iger. Yes, sir, it's an honor to speak with you, thank you. Oh, yeah, I have heard of the Three Sheets to the Mouse podcast. Yeah, I guess they're funny, but I don't really approve of their language. It's not something that me and Piggy want our little tadlets to be listening to. But, Fozzie, he loves them. I'm sorry, Mr. Iger, what do you mean you thought I could use the work? It's closing? Torn down? Galaxy's Edge? Now you listen here. Just because I'm a puppet doesn't mean I'll just bend over and take it. If you tear down Muppet Vision, I'll shove more than just a hand in your butt, Bob.
Sounds sorted, but you'll be rewarded when at last I am given my dues. And injustice deliciously squared, be prepared.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 150 of Three Sheets to the Mouse. We're a podcast that likes to focus on the adult side of Disney, from the parks to the movies to the dining. We'll cover everything Disney has to offer, including their booze. I'm Mikey, and tonight I'm joined by three guys that are the reason their parents drink. Chris.
What's going on, guys? How's it going?
Matt.
Hello, everyone. How are you doing?
And Josh.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
Well, I'm doing okay.
How you doing?
That's good to hear.
Chris ain't so good from the waist down, from what I understand.
Nope.
If recent comments are to be believed.
Not as young as I once was, apparently. Isn't there a country song about that shit?
Yeah, something about this Toby Urban guy. So, everybody sit back, make yourself a dirty Shirley, and join us this week on Three Sheets to the Mouse.
Dirty Shirley? Is that like Shirley Temple after she grows up in the slutty college years, or?
Well, Chris, speaking of Chris Hansen, what are you drinking?
I am... Jesus Christ. I am currently drinking a little Hancock's President Reserve from Buffalo Trace. I got a buddy that looks out for me on the rare bottles and managed to snatch a couple of them up and yielded one to me.
Now, I've been sitting here watching you drink beer and chase it with your whiskey.
Actually, that's a Kirkland brand seltzer. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, gotta
making his own whiskey fizzy.
Well, I mean, this past marathon weekend taught me that I'm a fat shit. So need to cut back on some of the other stuff. And plus, Mikey thinks he can lose weight faster than me, so I gotta cut out the sugar so no more soda.
I can, because I can only see out of one eye, which means I have a distinct advantage. I keep the sweets on my left side.
There you go.
And I'm fine.
Only make right turns.
That's absolutely correct. I'm no good at NASCAR.
You are no Jeff Gordon, sir.
No, I'm a way closer to a Dale Earnhardt Sr. than a Jeff Gordon.
Right,
Jesus.
Right into the well.
And no, ladies and gentlemen, it is not too soon for that.
That escalated so quickly.
Matt,
Sorry,
what are you
Dave.
drinking?
Sorry, David
I
Thacker.
just actually right now bottled down a Knob Creek 100 proof. It's nothing spectacular, but it tastes great.
Yeah, Knob Creek, man. That's one of my good go-tos to keep on the shelf.
For $25 for 100 proof, I'll do it every day.
Hell yeah.
I will never forget My first taste of knob, courtesy of C-Match named Duke. Josh, what are you drinking?
I have the Lagavulin Offerman edition this evening.
Oh.
Yes.
Well, you...
Know what you're about, huh, son?
Well, I figure bacon, eggs, and a little of Ron Swanson's juice. You know.
Did you have all the bacon and eggs that you had?
Hey, I know what I'm about, son.
Does Ron Swanson's juice come from knob?
Jesus.
Apparently, C-Madge Nandukes does.
It does. All I know is, I'll tell you this right now, ladies and gentlemen. As much as we love Josh Wozni, he does not know his way around a bunghole. He has a leaky bung.
You got a leaky bum on his barrel.
That is true.
He blew a gasket shoving a cork in.
So the story here is I had a bottle of Suntory Toki that I absolutely despised. So I went to put it in my barrel. I have a 2-liter barrel. And apparently when I put the bung in, the seal peeled back. And when I emptied it today, 3.5 months later, I have about a quarter of the bottle left. So everything is somewhere up there.
Well, we can't have nice things.
It doesn't matter. I hate that whiskey anyway.
All of the
So
angels got their share.
Do we need to let
Yeah.
Amber know you don't know how to handle the bunghole?
Chris, I don't think that's something you have to, either she do or she don't. It's
the
not.
bottle. I mean, once
no
you saw that
outside
bottle,
input is needed when you're either.
yeah.
oh, Mikey's speechless.
I mean, I'm just gonna put it out there. She married me. I'm just so
I mean, but did she marry you for your ability to bung? I just, man, I think we're okay. Hey, you know what I'm drinking?
What are you drinking, Mikey?
I got just a good old solid pour of Woodford Reserve.
Yes.
That was muled to me by none other than Super Sheeter. I'll say it, Super Sheeter David Thacker.
All right.
Who muled this down to me at BSB last year. I can say last year.
Recently.
And it sat in a garage in Tennessee for a long time before it made it to my house. So, David, thank you. James, better late than never. I appreciate it.
Now, was that
Always
the
good.
great big giant bottle? Or was that the regular size?
No, it's just standard.
Yeah.
It's a standard. But, David said he's not really much of a whiskey drinker, and he said, hey, do you want this? And I said, hey, I want this. So, hey, I got this.
That's
We've all
a
seen
good
David
one to
Thacker
have.
likes to drink. He's the king of Miller Lite. So
Hey, man, if I'm buying my own beer,
hams.
it's, yeah. If my wife says, hey, do you want me to get you some beer at the store? Then I'm going to ask for Miller Lite. Listen, if I'm not scraping the bottom of the barrel with hams, I'll go Miller Lite because, gotta say, it's pretty decent value in those aluminum cans.
Yeah,
Or
I mean,
the aluminum.
They do have
bottles.
the bigger cans, and it's almost always on sale down here.
Oh yeah, the
Whenever you go out,
the
it's
almost
always-
tall boy cans is usually like $1 more for the 6-pack, and you're getting like 3 more beers.
Right.
It's always on sale on draft everywhere you go too. They've got the $5 tall specials for usually it's always Miller Lite. I'm cool with it.
I mean, you gotta have water. Water's always got to be on sale.
Hey, I'll drink it.
That's right.
It'll make a stream.
I drank it for years. Got
That's
my mother to drink it. Now she does, and she has good taste.
Enough about what we're drinking. Whatever you're drinking, go ahead, post it in our group. Let us know. Tag us in on Instagram at 3 Sheets Podcast. What are you drinking? At home, at the parks, at a party, whatever. Let us know. That's what this is about here. And you're hearing some new voices here. Let's go ahead and give a quick welcome to Matt and Josh, who were on last week. No, Matt wasn't. My bad. Yeah, I talk to you so much. It's like you're always there.
Yes.
Josh Wozni was on last week, and we've got Matt Holmes
Holmes. Hello.
No relation to Pete Holmes. I made that up. He could be. I wouldn't know.
Oh, that'd be all right.
But Katie is his aunt.
Yeah, okay. I'd buy that.
Matt Holmes, good to have you. Another admin. And the third admin routing this out is Chris Shoemaker. How are you doing tonight, sir?
Doing pretty good, bud. Doing pretty good. Thank you for that, dick.
How are the twins?
Oh my.
Are they cooking? When is she due? Because she just completed a fucking dopey challenge with twins.
That is
pregnant.
That's respectable right there.
She needs an extra medal.
You know, I let Derek Galverson know the same thing.
She needs
If she
two
winds up
extra.
ever being pregnant with twins, and everybody that's mentioned it, I'm coming around, I'm punching you square in the junk. So I don't know how much. I don't care how much I got to pay on plane tickets, but everyone's getting punched in the junk. So Josh,
Hey,
I just want to be invited to the birth. I want to be up in the theater area where this is going down. We're going to live stream it to the Facebook group. It'll be great. Good fun.
like a Saint Bernard trying to come into a cat door.
Two Saint Bernard. No, twins aren't Saint Bernards. They're like regular sized dogs coming through a cat door.
Oh my god.
Well, okay, so you're listening, and I want to let you guys know the four of us have something in common besides a love for all things Disney. This show is going to be about, kids and Disney, and I thought, why not start this off? I'll tell you one of my favorite memories with my kids at Disney World, and you guys can, think real quick to find yours, because I'm springing this on you. I've got 2 kids, so you got extra time.
Mm-hmm.
I got 3, but...
Yeah.
The one that doesn't smile or interact with anything. Here's my favorite memory of Ricky going to Disney World. We ride Tower. He's my oldest. He was 16 at the time. He's 19 now. We ride Tower of Terror twice because it was a walk-on and we had a fast pass. We get done with it and we're walking away, and then he decides to tell us he doesn't like heights and didn't like that at all.
After the second time?
Uh-huh. There you go. That's my boy. My youngest son, Keaton, we are, where were we? We are, first trip to Disney World. We go do Enchanted Tales of Belle. He gets picked to be the Beast.
Nice.
And just fucking killed it. I mean, it was great. He's supposed to, scare Belle. Like, they snapped the photo and he is off the ground. He jumped, like, legit. He went all out and full send. He jumps up and rawr, and capes flapping, his feet are off the ground.
Nice.
It's awesome. And then our last trip with Boston, he's shy, doesn't care about meeting princesses or anything like that, and we all waited in line to go meet Merida. He stood at the bottom of her meet and greet area, and she met all the rest of the family and said, "Who's he?" And we said, "Oh, that's our son. He didn't want to come up here." She goes, "Oh, well, I want to go meet him." And she runs down off her stage, and the PhotoPass photographer is trying to keep up snapping photos, and her handler is like, what are you doing? She runs down there. It was the best interaction I've ever had with a character or a cast member or anything like that. She planted a big old red lipstick smooch on his forehead. He was smiling. He didn't want to, but he was enjoying it, and she was smiling. And let me tell you, I don't know what she said, but she could have said that to me all fucking night. And I'd have been perfectly happy. Yes, she could have. So that's what I got. Josh, what you got a memory with? It's your stepdaughter?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. What do you got?
Well, really. So, before I took them down there, they had been one time for about 6 hours. They got to go to the Magic Kingdom. They were going on a cruise, not a Disney cruise, just a regular cruise out of Canaveral. And this was before I had known them. And they were there for, really 6.5 hours. So they really didn't have much of a memory. So it actually ties in. Amber thought that we could walk into the park from the hotel. She's like, why do we need to have a car, or why do we need to worry about buses? We can just walk, because we have Cedar Point up here and the hotel's like right out the back gate. And I just was like, okay, let me show you a map. They didn't fully understand how big it was. And we spent a week at Port Orleans Riverside, and they were just amazed by everything, and we ate at all the nice places. And Olivia is a huge foodie for being her age. She eats filet and lobster and everything. So, yep. So she eats all that. So The memory that I have is basically creating a giant monster between the two of them, because that's all they want to do now is go to one Disney park or the other because they love it. So it's nonstop. When we get back from one, it's like, what are we going to do for the next one? And, you know, to this day, Olivia talks about it, and she loves it. She's excited about going to Disneyland. She's probably more excited than we are. So just how she turned out loving everything about the place, I think, is my best, most fond thought and memory of it all.
Awesome. Matt.
I have 2 kids. My daughter she'll be 21 this year, and my son he'll be 17 in a couple weeks. I said this the other night, and this still is my favorite memory for both of them. The last family trip we took, we did my daughter and I, we started at Animal Kingdom and did the 4 parks one day with the pseudo 3 seats challenge of the 4 parks one day, which is the attraction, photo, snack, and me a drink. And she made it the whole way. Was beyond worn out when we got to the last place, and just was a trooper the whole way. We had a great time. And with Carson, my memory for him was actually, I wasn't even there with him, but it was a memory that I got to share in after the fact, that he completed the Wilderness Explorers. Like, he platinumed the whole thing and got everything, and had Russell and Doug sign his book, and the picture was them hugging him. He has autism, so it's one where they just really comforted him, and he had a great time doing it. When I saw the pictures, I kind of wish that I had been there, but then, the other end of it, I had fun with my daughter, and
That's cool. Wilderness Explorers. Maybe we'll talk about that again later. Chris, do you love your child at all, or are you on the outlier here?
Yeah, she's 9, so she's 9 going on 19. So some days I do, some days I want to lock her in her room for the rest of her life.
Okay, Mother Gothel. So do you have any?
Right? Yeah, I mean, I think she had been a few times when she was younger. But one of the most memorable times me going to Disney with her had to be about 2018. Actually, the marathon weekend in 2018. It was a few months out. Lauren and I met in August of the year before that, and we went with her and her one of her classmates from the Citadel. They were running the marathon weekend, and it happened to be around my daughter's birthday, and so we went. And the last time she had been, she'd be too young to remember much. And, me, I'm a giant Haunted Mansion fan. I love the Haunted Mansion. So I'd always talked about that, Pirates of the Caribbean, stuff like that. And so, I remember going on the Haunted Mansion with Hayden and Lauren and her classmate Foxley. We went on there, and we were all kind of sitting. We were 2 different dune buggies, but just, when the dune buggies turn, you can see the other dune buggies sometimes. And just the look on her face, seeing the attraction, through a kid who finally, realizes what the hell's going on. I saw it, and Lauren and her classmates both saw it, and it was just, one of those things of just seeing Disney in the eyes of a child, that finally gets it. It's like it was a memorable experience. And every time we take her now, and she's 9 now. We took her on the Haunted Mansion this last time, and she still has that same look in her eyes when she gets on the Haunted Mansion. She walks up to the front of the Haunted Mansion, Pirates of the Caribbean, and she just gets this look in her eyes like she can't wait to get on this. She's been on it a bazillion times. Every time we go to Magic Kingdom, we have to hit Haunted Mansion. We have to hit Pirates of the Caribbean. And every time, just walking up to the queue, she just gets this look on her face, and that's what makes it worth it. We do enjoy going without her, immensely sometimes, but when we do take her, we do take her, and she still has that same look 3 years later, going up to the front of the ride. That's what makes it worth it for us.
Well, and you keep her medicated too, so that helps.
I keep myself medicated with the brown
Yes.
water.
Listen, I was going to say,
it's necessary.
I've ridden Haunted Mansion with you. I know that look because you get the same one.
Yes, I do. Every damn time. No shame in my game.
All right, well, this show, we want to talk about how in Disney, family memories can be made literally around every corner. And a lot of those memories, they don't come cheap. It's like Rumpelstiltskin says, all magic comes with a price. Sure. So tonight we want to take a look at kind of visiting Disney World with kids, or as each of us with kid, and not necessarily breaking the bank, And when we can't, there's no way we could go over everything you can do with your kids, every activity that's down there, because the list would be far too long, and we've wasted too much time talking about our own little heathen bastards. And that's kind of what makes Disney so great. It's like you can't do it all in one trip, and you just, find something else you want to do, and you add it to the ever-growing next trip list. So here's how this is going to go down tonight. I tasked myself and the other three hosts here with the task of, taking a day and coming up with 3 activities, one of which has to be in a park, to keep their child entertained. Okay, there's a few things, in here to make the whole thing interesting. Your budget is $75 for the kid. That doesn't mean that, it's got to encompass you. You don't have to spend it all. You can come in underneath it. This is you and your child. What do you think your child would want to do, Now, if you want to use this money to take, on a dining experience, that's entirely on you. Otherwise, I'm assuming you've already got a separate budget for food, and you got park hoppers and transportation. We're not dealing with any of that. We're just talking about, what it would cost for the activity. Okay, and here's where we get a little bit wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey.
Okay.
Chris, as you mentioned earlier, your daughter, Hayden.
Yep.
She's 9.
Yes, sir.
Well, welcome to junior high, because now she's 12.
Not much of a time change. She's still a jerk.
It'll change. It'll change.
Oh, I'm aware.
It will.
It affects pricing, at least. As far as Disney's concerned, she can legally purchase tobacco and beer now.
That's the funniest thing. It's like we just renewed her annual pass, and I looked at her. I picked her up after we renewed her pass. I looked at her in the eyes. I picked her up and said, "This is the last year you get a child price. Enjoy this shit, because next year I'm gonna be pissed." And I put her down, and she just looked at me like, "This is the last year you get a child's ticket. Calm down, child."
Matt, you've got Carson this trip, but instead of he's 16 now, right?
Currently, yes.
Okay, instead of being 16, he's a smelly little 10-year-old boy.
Oh shit!
All right, been there.
And Josh, that little princess of yours just blossomed into a 16-year-old drama queen.
That's not that far off. She's 14 now, so she would kill me if she heard me say that.
I'm telling.
To keep things fair, my 15-year-old son, I'm going with Boston on this. He will finally be acting his age as a 6-year-old. So,
all right.
Okay, and just
so he's going to hang out with Chris, then, is what you're saying.
That's right.
Hey. I'm 6.5. I'm this many.
Right?
He's 80 months.
80 months.
No, don't tell me how many months.
So to make this easy, I guess, instead of everybody doing one thing at a time, we'll just go around and you'll outline your day, and the next person will do their day, and so on and so forth. Don't freak out too much if somebody takes, your idea. It's all in good fun. Hopefully you got a backup you can come up with really quick. Yep. And hey, you know what? Just to keep things really simple and mathematical, I'll go first because it's the youngest.
Okay.
Whoa, I don't sure that math don't track.
Fair enough.
He's 6, so it tracks really well.
I was talking about your age. I was going to say that math. Right.
Oh, no. I'm dealing with a 6-year-old, so my options are limited to what a 6-year-old would pay attention to.
Yes.
and stuff like that. So here we go. Okay.
All right.
I've got a fun day planned. I actually want to do this. I'm not even 6.
You still going to make Boston do it if, even though he's not 6?
He can't because he's too old for the first part.
Oh, okay.
So we are going to be headed to the Caribbean Beach Resort. Boston's going to start putting on his pirate bandana. And we're going to do he is going to do the Pirate Adventure Cruise.
Nice.
Really?
All right.
Never heard of this.
Okay, well, what happens is here's the canned information from the Disney website.
Okay.
Donning pirate bandanas, young buccaneers board a seasoned vessel for a spirited pursuit of treasure. Sailing to exotic ports of call, they'll hear legends of pirates' past and discover clues that may very well just lead to a bountiful treasure chest. At the final port of call, kids split up the pirate booty as they enjoy a snack such as goldfish crackers or pretzels and a drink such as water or a juice box. Children before 12 years of age and potty trained to join this battle. Adults not allowed. And I call it a battle because you're not allowed. It's just a kid and the 2 handlers. One's driving and one's handling. Now that's Disney's canned information on it. They have 2 options for this. One is called the Albatross Treasure Cruise, and in that one you'll hear the tale of the albatross treasure that you're searching for around Crescent Lake and World Showcase Lagoon. Sounds really cool because 3 of us have fished that.
Yes, we have.
I don't know that a 6-year-old would gain that whole "ooh wow, I'm in World Showcase Lagoon" aspect of it. That one launches from the Yacht and Beach Club. Now, I'm going with the one called Islands of the Caribbean Pirate Cruise. And in that one, it leaves from Caribbean Beach, which, to be honest, has a better overall theming for a pirate cruise or pirate anything. They got fucking cannons, facing out over the water. And that one says it sails to the ports of the Caribbean waters, and they hear the story of old Port Royal and its pirate-laden past, and it leaves out of what they call Caribbean Key, and goes to Barefoot Bay, and both of these leave out at about 9:30 in the morning. Mm-hmm. The details on this is Disney kind of keeps changing up some of the accessories that are included in this. Right. I know the kids get they wear a black pirate life jacket and a bandana. That's always there. I've seen some videos and stuff. Last one I saw the kids were wearing like this little bitty red and black super cheap cloth pirate vest made like Tyvek material kind of.
That's kind of like the Pirates Adventure thing in Magic Kingdom and Adventureland, where they get the full face paint and the bandana.
Not that much effort and time put into it, because they get a bandana, they get this cheap little vest, they get the bandana. I know. The last video I saw, in addition to that, they had this cheap red and black pirate vest with a frayed bottom cut to it, and the 2 kids were wearing an eye patch. And they had a name tag on their sleeve, that way you could tell who they were. Because you're going to put your life jacket over that. The life jacket's pretty cool. It's jet black and it's got a Jolly Roger over the chest. Nice. Over one chest side. That's pretty cool.
I want one.
Really great to wear in August.
Yeah. It's a great thing. And, a great thing to wear in Florida, ever.
Absolutely. Now, once the kids get, all their equipment put on, they hop on this pirate-themed pontoon boat, and it's actually pretty fucking cool. It's got a wooden mast in the middle of it and black sails hanging off it. They don't unfurl them, but they're hanging there, so it does look realistic. I guess it looks more like, a Peter Pan pirate ship, your Peter Pan boats from Peter Pan, but you got those black sails. It's got wooden sides on it that actually have cannons stuck into it, like it's got cannon mounts coming out of it. It is really, really cool. I would fish out of that sumbitch.
Is there any way we can rent those out for next year's fishing tournament?
I don't think so. No.
Get more people on.
No. So when they depart from Barefoot Bay.
There you go.
Yeah, they leave out of
close
Barefoot Bay, and they go to these ports of call, which are basically just other marinas and docks and stuff like that scattered around the Caribbean beach resort there. And what they do is they follow these clues, and I guess the person leading it has got like a map or whatever, and they find little bits of treasure hanging around, which is basically a black cloth bag that's hanging off of like a pylon or a tree or something like that. You know, the boat driver pulls up, the handler gets out and grabs it and hangs on to it. And once they've collected all of them, all these bags that are scattered around, they head back to the dock where they pulled out, and they divvy up the loot. Every kid gets a little plastic treasure chest. They get to open it up and cram as much of that shit in there as they can.
That's cool.
Whatever fits in there. It's got, little fake coins to necklaces to little plastic rings and just, it's Orient. It looks like Oriental Trader Company just took a big old shit in a bag, and they dumped all these bags of shit into a big treasure chest, and the kids are like, yeah, shit.
Yes.
But it's, you know what, it's cute.
Probably Disney could market this to adults by just making it an adult-themed cruise and fill the bags full of mini bottles instead, and just, we come back at the end and just divvy up the mini bottles. Let me fish along the way and pick up bags full of booze. I'm good for that.
Fish for the bags. They're out there floating. You got to be one to catch it.
There you go. I'm good with that.
So yeah, with the loot and the fun stories and the reviews I've read, the kids have a good time. This lasts about 2 hours. It's a great chance for you as a parent to send them away for 2 hours and go have mimosas and Bloody Marys.
What's the price tag on that?
$39 for a 6-year-old. I think it's like $45 for a bit older.
Okay.
Nice. Okay,
that's
not terrible.
2 hours without a kid. That's about
That is just the kid. That's no parental involvement.
Nope. No parents are on board.
Nice.
Which means the videos I watched on it were kind of broke up. It's like, oh, here's my kid on a boat. Boat drives away. Oh, the kid's coming back. And the kid gave the review, and it was adorable. I'm just going to say it was utterly adorable. He was probably 8 or 9 years old, and he thought it was great.
Basically, you're about it for about $100 because with the kid being gone at $39 and an adult sitting by the pool bar and drinking, by the time the kid gets back, about $100.
Separate budget. Okay, so that's our morning, and then we'll have lunch. And after lunch, we're going to continue the theme of this day, and we're going to go roll our balls in the sand over at the Winter Summerland golf course. Mini golf.
All right.
You son of a bitch.
All right. I loves me some mini golf.
You son of a bitch.
And all of my kids love mini golf. Because you can play it no matter how old you are. You throw the rules out, and you just go to have fun.
There are rules?
There are.
No.
Something about 6 shots and the clubs, club length from the this, that. And,
Really?
Yeah. So here's the deal. Disney's got 4 different mini golf courses between 2 different locations on their property. You've got the first one, Fantasia Gardens, which I've played it. It has 2 courses. One is bright and colorful and has a Fantasia, the film theme. Yep. The other side of it is kind of meant to look like a scaled-down PGA course, and I hear it's pretty tough. Nothing fancy. It's greens, it's sand traps. It's probably got some water thrown in there.
Is it one of the difficult ones that don't have the sides that you actually have to make?
I believe that's correct.
Okay.
It's like I said. It's like
skill.
playing for reals golf.
You're not banking it off. Corner pocket.
No. There's
Gotcha.
None of that.
Gotcha.
And besides that, you've got Winter Summerland, which has got this cool Santa on vacation theme, and the courses there are split between.
That's the one I've been looking at. That's pretty freaking cool.
We played this one as well on our first trip, and that one has, you've got elves that like the summer weather and elves that like the Florida weather, and Santa's decorated both sides of this to accommodate them. You've got Florida, and then you've got the North Pole, basically. And it has lots of fun obstacles. It's got characters sculpted out of sand. It's got a huge sand castle and a clam trap, as it were. there's no treasure to be found there, but I think we could keep our eyes peeled for a mermaid as we play through. So
Chloe
Get that cloaca.
Yep, Winter Summerland would be the place I'd want to go, and I believe for a wee bitty kid, it's like $15, I think, or 12 or something like that.
It's 12 for kids, 14 for adults.
Yeah, so
you bastard.
And if they're still. Do they still do the vouchers when you book?
They do, yes.
Property?
And you can also, from what I've been told, I haven't verified this, but you can get Groupons sometimes for the Winter Summerland. Yeah, for the mini golf courses on Disney. If you keep an eye out, you can get Groupons. I haven't checked this myself, but that's what I've been told.
A few years ago, we were able to get that with the coupon vouchers with that and Disney Quest back when it was a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get two free rounds,
you could lump it all together.
Fun fact, when we were going down and we had to cancel our entire trip because Fort Wilderness was closed after the hurricane, we rebooked but had to stay off property. All this went down after we already got our package that had the vouchers in it. We still used them. They didn't scan them or anything. They just threw them in a thing and handed us a club and a ball and said, "Here's your card."
Kept on going.
Yeah, they don't care. They don't care.
No, they're
not in it. No, they're just there.
They don't get paid enough to care.
No, what really? What are you enforcing? This ain't Sawgrass, all right? Greens feeds for this shit.
Damn Tiger Woods on the course, man. It's you're hitting it, plastic elves and Santas.
Right. Which I will say, the 18th hole is fucking great. If they haven't updated the computer setup they got, it looks like Windows 95 trying to connect to America Online. It's fucking great. All right. So rounding out the day, we're going to head over to Magic Kingdom. We're going to get there late afternoon, and we're going to go where else? Keep with our theme, we're going to Adventureland.
Nice.
And we are going to enlist ourselves to take part in a pirate's adventure. Treasure of the Seven Seas. Chris, it's good to be the one that hosts the show sometimes because you can decide, ooh, here's a rule. Let's go in order of number, age. Because you're pretty sure everybody else has your shit.
Fucking backups, motherfucker. Lucky I got backups.
Okay, so what the Treasure of the Seven Seas things is basically you help Jack Sparrow find 5 hidden treasures that are scattered around Adventureland. Mm-hmm. It's a lot like Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom, where there's maps and there's touch points and stuff like that. Well, there's touch points instead of like holding up a card. No, there's still touch points. Yeah,
we've actually done this before. It's actually really cool.
Have you? Okay. I didn't mean to cut you off. It's like, oh, hey, are you okay? Yeah, shut up. I'm talking. That's not what that meant. Yeah, I've got a lot of notes.
Oh, yeah.
Have you listened to the show? I talk a lot. I'm trying to get through them quick. So, yeah, this is a little different because there's not like a deck building aspect to it like you have with Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom. Sorcerers has more depth, okay? It has a lot more depth than I would say this does. There's no special attack moves or anything you have to play. It's basically just a really cool interactive scavenger hunt that goes all the way through Adventureland. So I guess it's probably more on the lines of Agent P from World Showcase. But basically you get in Adventureland, you head over and you go across from Tortuga Tavern. There's this little shack, I think it's called the Crow's Nest. You go in there, you get signed up. I think a cast member walks you through tapping your magic band so you can see who the main person is and how many are in your party, and they give you a map. And this map, you get one of 5 maps, and it'll send you out on a hunt through Adventureland. And basically, it's going to show you where to go and tap your magic band on secret spots that trigger a special effect. That could be anything from a painting coming to life to full-blown audio animatronics. And each time you complete a map, which they call a raid, you finish that, you head back to the Crow's Nest, you get a new map, and they'll also give you a special collector's card. And if you finish all 5 maps, you get all 5 cards, and you get a 6th card special that is from Captain Jack Sparrow himself, thanking you for your work. Also, it's my understanding, or it was the case, I believe after you complete 2 full maps, you can go back and be rewarded with a paper fast pass for Pirates of the Caribbean sometimes.
Ooh, that's awesome. That's real cool.
That's actually pretty cool. I didn't know it was that in
cool.
depth. That's pretty freaking cool.
So maybe it's cheating technically, but when we finish this, we're gonna go ride Pirates of the Caribbean. So technically, I got a ride attached to my original activity because it was kind of a reward. So, yeah, that's kind of my day. It's all pirate themed for a 6-year-old. What 6-year-old doesn't like the whole concept of being a pirate? What 36-year-old
Right, exactly.
doesn't like
I
the
like
whole
it. I like it.
That's
concept
fair.
of being
that
a
sounds like fun to
privateer?
me.
So, like I said, I want to do this, and I can do 2 of the 3 things.
All right.
To be honest, when I take kids to play mini golf, I don't even play. I just let them do their thing, because I just get frustrated if I try to play because I'm competitive and I want them to be competitive. And if all I'm writing down is 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, because they're 12 putting it, I get frustrated. Yeah. I don't want to win by default. So
Listen, it's all about the tap, tap, taparoo.
Yeah, tap,
it's
tap,
a
tap.
tiny tap.
Too good for your home.
All right, so enough with this. Oh, and I think I only came out to like what, $54.
Nice.
Very nice.
So not bad for a day's experience in the world, as it were. So hey, who out there's got a 10-year-old?
Hey, in this scenario,
Hey,
I
Matt.
have a 10-year-old.
Good answer.
Yes.
Show me 10-year-old.
Yes. Ding, 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 ding. It is on the board. Yeah, so, I mean, just loosely, I titled mine The Wilderness. All right? Since my last trip to BSB was the first time I ever flown to Disney, we have always driven. So we're driving. We're gonna pile up a bunch of stuff. We're gonna drive, and we're gonna splurge a little bit. We're gonna stay in the cabins at Fort Wilderness. Yeah. So we've got all the amenities of essentially home right there. So we're gonna wake up that morning. Our first, our day of just. Well, I will say this, that my wife will be going with me, but she's like, I'm done with you guys. You go do your thing. I'm staying here. Leave me alone. I want to sit by the pool, drink. And so Carson and I were on our way out. We're going to head to Animal Kingdom. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going into guest services. We're going to get our DAS pass. Because like I said before, he does have autism. He does qualify to get the DAS pass for those type of things, the anxiety and the crowds and waiting in lines and stuff. So we're gonna go get our pass. We're gonna get a return time right off the bat for Flight of Passage, and then we're gonna hang. And then from there, I am gonna run over to like I said, we're going to take our time to get there. We're not going to get there too early, because we're not going to like a rope drop or anything. We're going to go right around 10 o'clock, because that's when Dawa Bar opens. I'm going to go to Dawa Bar, and I'm going to get their Harambe iced tea, because I need a walking drink for what is to come.
I seriously thought I was going to be the only one having a drink on this trip. Thank God, Matt. Thank you, sir.
No, this is just one. This is just the first.
We're not there yet.
This is just the first.
Wait for it.
So the Harambe iced tea, and I broke this down. This is Snow Leopard vodka with the new Amsterdam gin, Don Q rum, Vanderhum liqueur, sweet and sour orange juice, and a little splash of Sprite. That is
actually really good.
That is $14, and to kind of cheat a little bit, I couldn't find the price on like what an extra shot would be, so I just guesstimated $2. I don't know if that's true or not.
Extra shots. I think the extra shots, like, between about $2 and $4. Just depends on what you're putting in there.
Well, we're going with 2.
We'll go with 2.
And then from there, I need to backtrack a little bit. On our way in, when you come in through Animal Kingdom, you come in through the turnstiles. You go around to the left side. You come to the walkway that takes you to the Tree of Life, where they have like a photo pass, whatever. Well, before on that bridge, right before you get there, on the right hand side, you'll come to there's the Wilderness Explorer kiosk. That's where you pick up your fancy book. Okay, so you start up, you get this little handbook. Matter of fact, the last time we did this, whenever we did this the first time, I wore my Cousin Joe shirt, and the cast members that were working the kiosk, they remarked so hard. They're like, "Oh my gosh, it's Joe Rody on your shirt," And I said, "Yeah, it's Cousin Joe." They're like, "He's your cousin?" And they believed me. So he's like,
little they know that it's your aunt's Katie Holmes. I mean, they could have been freaking out more about that, She got out of that whole Scientology thing.
Oh no, she's out of that. She doesn't do that anymore.
She no Tom Cruise.
Mm-hmm. So we have our handbook. We get our return time for Flight of Passage. I've got a drink in hand. Then we're starting our Wilderness Explorer. Now, the neat thing about this book is that it has a map that tells you there's not any kind of certain order that you have to do this in, but logistically you kind of want to do it in a certain order so you're not backtracking, going back and forth around the park, because it is the biggest park. But no, when you start around in Africa area, you go through all the whole thing. I don't know if you actually have to ride the safari, but it is part of one of the questions, and you go through and you have little badges, little numbered badges, and you go through like the little you do have to ride the safari on this, which is not a big deal, but you circle all the animals that you can find, and then when you're done, you get a little stamp, you get a sticker from the next person. And we did the Harambe Trail, and we actually spoke to a lady that was from Africa. I don't remember where she was from, but she wrote down his name in Swahili and told him how to say it, and it was really neat. He learned lots of stuff on the part that I was actually with him on this. So we do the Wilderness Explorers for a couple hours. And then from there, we go back, because you get your return time. For the DAS Pass, you have about an hour for your return time. You go back to your return time. So we ride Flight of Passage. And right there, when you get off of Flight of Passage, you come down, you're right there at Satuli Canteen, so it's lunchtime. We're gonna go lunch Satuli. We're gonna go with, because he's a 10-year-old, we're going with a kid's meal, the cheese quesadilla with veggie chips, grapes, and he's drinking water.
No cheeseburger pods?
Not for kids' meal.
That's the only thing the cheeseburger pods are available on the kids' meal. They're only not on the adult meal. You have to ask for them in the adult meal.
Okay. Well, that's just what we chose on there. That is $6.49.
But their quesadillas are freaking bomb too.
Yeah. And then, of course, I have to eat too, so I'm going to get the slow roasted sliced beef bowl. And that's a slow roasted beef marinated in a blend of garlic, herb, red peppers, red wine vinegar, crunchy vegetable slaw, which I'm not into slaw, but boba balls.
It's actually really good.
Yeah. That one is $13.99. So,
yep.
Yeah, not too bad.
Dude, I can destroy their veggie chips. I'm just saying, dude. I could tear that shit up.
My kid doesn't like anything but freaking tortilla chips from a Mexican restaurant. You put those veggie chips in front of her, and she'll eat everything but the plate.
Yeah,
I'll tell you right now, if they were to offer some kind of alien queso,
Oh,
and veggie chips, or like an alien salsa and veggie chips. Oh, holy shit. I mean, it could be made from the blue milk that Luke was drinking from that space walrus. I don't care.
Right from the
if they
tip.
could, blue cheese. Fucking blue cheese.
oh, Mikey, you'd never. God,
I would
Lord.
crush that.
I don't mean like blue cheese. I mean blue cheese.
Right.
And those veggie chips. And just, holy cow,
So
man.
you're saying
Just regular
that
queso
blue-
with a little food coloring in it.
cheese
So you're good to
made
go.
from blue milk.
Or, yes.
queso
Or
with
yes.
food coloring.
That would be just make it happen, Disney. You're missing out.
yeah.
You're missing out.
We know
I'm
you're
just
listening,
saying.
Disney. Just make it happen. Make that do stuff.
Some type of Pandorian fondue is what you could call it. You can
Yeah.
There you
Moara
go.
fondue or something. I don't care what you do with it. Just make it. Just it's got to happen. Put it in a bread bowl.
Yeah, I will warn whoever wants to try to do this that the Wilderness Explorer thing, it is a full day. It
Yep.
is because it takes you through everywhere. You go to the Rafiki's Planet Watch. You go around to Dino Land. You dig up stuff, and you have to talk to all these people and listen to their little spiel about what each little stand does and what they do. And of course, if you want to do it, you get a sticker, and then you get the stuff. And actually, when you're done, I believe you get a badge. Carson came away with 2 different patches. That because like I said,
nice.
he 100%ed the entire thing because that's who he is. So after lunch we go back and we finish that out as much as we can. We want to get back to our cabin by about 4:00, and that we can hang out, kind of take a break, take a breather. Since we're there, we're gonna do dinner. Since we've done a bunch of walking around, made bus ride all the way back to the cabin. We're going to get dinner at Crockett's Tavern. Oh yeah! And now I've not been there. So I'm not sure.
Literally
where it is.
literally just ate there on Sunday night.
Nice.
That's the quick serve, yeah. At
It's
Fort Wilderness.
Yeah, so it's Crockett's Tavern it's basically a walk-up bar on the porch, but you can go around to the side and go into the other restaurant. They have quite a large quick service window. You can get like a half a rack of ribs and an 8-piece chicken meal for less than $30.
Yeah. Well, what we're gonna have, we're gonna do 2 of the smokehouse nachos. Each of us get one. I am a sucker for some barbecue nachos. And that's pulled pork, cheese, lettuce, tomato, all the stuff.
It's like you're at the ballpark.
Yeah. And then he'll get a water with that since he's 10 years old. He needs to hydrate. And I'm gonna go with the Blackberry Lightning.
I see what you're doing there.
Yeah. See, and
I like it. I like
he's
it.
the Blackberry Lightning is an old smoky blackberry moonshine with Odwalla lemonade, fresh blackberries for $14. That's not terrible.
No, the Odwalla lemonade's good on anything though. You could put friggin' Knob Creek in that, whatever.
Yeah, and those nachos, they're $12 a piece, so that's $24 for the both of us. So after that, we're gonna take our time. We're gonna get back to our room. We're gonna load up. And this, because we drove. This is kind of a high point here. Because we drove, we were able to bring in all of our extra groceries. Like I said, we ate breakfast there that morning, so we brought in all of our groceries. That means that we're going to pack up a backpack with all the things that we need for later, including extra beers, extra things that I can walk around with. We're going to do the Fort Wilderness wagon ride.
Oh, we saw that. That's awesome.
Yeah. The wagon ride, it says $24 for 2, so another $12 a piece. Takes you around the whole camp compound. It shows you all the little things. I don't know a whole lot about it. I have not done it. The last time that my wife and tried to do it, it was a huge storm, and they were able to hole up into the stables. They weren't able to actually get out, so they were going to do it, just didn't get a chance to. So we're gonna run around that for a little while, and right around 7-ish, we're gonna get off there. We're going to Chippendale's Campfire Sing-Along. Now, the sing-along is kind of just the title of it, but they show an outdoor movie, and they do a s'mores. You make your own s'mores, and that's one thing I put in my backpack before we left our cabin. We filled it full of chocolate and graham crackers.
Otherwise, they will sell you the makings in a Ziploc baggie to build your own s'more.
Yeah, they will sell you this stuff.
They will.
You can.
It'll be Disney. Well, I don't think it's Disney prices
It's not
because I
terrible.
don't think they're going to screw you on a s'more.
It's not much. It's Hershey's chocolate, marshmallows, and graham crackers. I think it's $5, maybe less.
Okay, that's too much for one s'more. I'm just going to lay that out
Well,
there.
I thought it was...
they did the same thing at Hilton Head Island when we stayed there. They had the campfire thing. I think it was like $4 or $5, but you can make 2 or 3 s'mores out of the pack they gave you.
Is there an AP discount? I'd be that asshole. Do I get a discount for DVC? Is there an AP discount? You take tables in Wonderland?
Hey.
Whatever. I got a Groupon.
50 cents is 50 cents.
I'm gonna stock up on some Nabisco honey made grams because I can get them for free, and
you
some
sure shit can.
chocolate and marshmallows, and we're gonna hang out. I think if I read correctly, do they charge you to use their skewers?
If you do the package,
It's in the pack.
so if you buy their s'mores kit, they
Gotcha.
do. But if you bring your own skewers, I don't think there's any charge at all.
Hell, I'll find a twig on the trail over there and whittle it down to a point.
There we go.
So yeah, that's the hour we're gonna end our night. I'm gonna sneak in some backpack beers and s'mores and watch a classic Disney movie.
There you go.
Stumble my way back to the room, and my wife will not be the wiser.
And you do actually see Chip and Dale at this, right?
Yes.
It is a character spot.
From what I understand, Chip and Dale are there for about the first half of it. They are there for the open. There's like a whole opening ceremonies thing they do. We were trying to make it over there. We were trying to make it over there this past trip, but by the time it was time for that, we were dead in the water. So,
You had jello legs. I get it.
I was peg legging it. So, but from what I understand, Chip and Dale there they do opening ceremonies. They do a photo op thing, and then they kind of disappear right before the movie s'mores time. They disappear towards the end half.
Okay. And that's the end of my night. My $75 went a long way. My total with all this stuff, which pretty much was just food, then of course the hayride and things, I'm at $74.48. So I've got 52 cents to throw in the fountain for
Penny
a wish.
press. Penny press.
If
Penny
you had,
press. There you go.
there you are, man.
Hope that I get the right date on a penny to make it valid.
There you go.
Awesome. Well, okay. I guess next up is Chris. Chris, do you have anything left after
Yes, I
Matt
actually
and I
do.
have gone?
Most of the ones you guys checked off are some of my honorable mentions, so I'm safe for right now.
Oh, good.
All right,
Okay.
So my crotch goblin is 12 years old. For this trip, we are staying at Saratoga Springs, which is one of my favorite resorts to stay at because close proximity to Disney Springs. It's kind of away from the parks, so we quite enjoy staying there. One of the things that we like to do and we've done in the past is actually a lot of the moderate resorts and some of the Hilton Head resorts actually have a community hall. And in the community hall, it's got a kind of activity center. So they have, they have ping pong, they have movies, they do stuff like that. But they also have like arts and crafts kind of thing. So about $5-10, your kid can make pretty much anything they want. They can make a tie-dye towel. They can make a shirt. They can do, little paint your own kind of, figurines kind of thing. So when we've done that before with my daughter. I think for about $5 she did a tie-dye T-shirt. So we're start off the day. We're gonna head over to the community hall. We're gonna go ahead and let her make a tie-dye T-shirt. About $5 for that. Tie-dyes that, and we take it back to the room. let it sit. Then after that, we all kind of love, as a family, we love Epcot. So we're gonna head over and do the behind the scenes tour. My daughter loves. She's a little bit. She's a closet nerd. She won't acknowledge that she's a nerd, but she's a nerd. So behind the scenes for a kid is $18, but they actually give an AP discount. So if you have an annual pass, you get a discount of 10% on that. So you're looking at about $17 and some change.
Yeah.
So we do.
I love that.
It's behind the scenes. It's great. You know, we walk around. You know, I know Lauren and I did it during our honeymoon, and you know, you touch the little plant that actually like closes up when you touch it.
Yep.
I mean, what 12-year-old? What I mean, I was a grown ass man. And I'm sitting there poking the shit out of that plant. So
yeah, I've got a video of that.
Yeah, and I videoed it. I think I got one too. I mean, what?
And it wasn't always with his finger.
No, I mean, when the host wasn't. What the tour guide doesn't know. What the tour guide doesn't know.
Next to that one.
If you didn't get lips to close on it.
What the tour guide doesn't know, the tour guide doesn't know, Mikey. But so you know, it's a lot of fun, you know, and you know, along the way you get to sample some vegetables and stuff like that. They give you some samples here and there.
Cucumber's awesome.
Yeah, and it's a lot of fun. So that kills a couple hours there. You get to feed the fish, and those fish are freaking like, it's like a piranha tank, man. You throw some food in there, and they go freaking ape shit. My kid loves that crap. So
don't step in the sand.
Yeah, God, don't step in the sand. That guy was the tour guide we had was like, don't touch it. We had to sanitize everything. You know, it was a thing.
When you get those like flesh-eating sand mites or whatever is in there.
Yeah, there's some kind of mites in there that'll absolutely no, it's actually the mites, the bacteria and stuff, the mites and stuff are on your shoes. So if you put it in the sand, it actually can transfer the sand and kill everything.
Okay.
So you know, after we'll do behind the scenes, and then my kid is much like me. She loves Disney Springs. She loves to walk around and look at things and check it out. So after that, we're going to head over to Splitsville. Splitsville is actually, they take AP discounts as well. Splitsville, believe it or not, for about an hour for a kid is the same price as behind the scenes. So looking at, if you go Monday through Friday, they have, if you go open to 4 p.m., it's $18 a bowler. 4 p.m. to close, it goes up to $22 a bowler. But they take AP discounts, so you take 10% off of that. 1 to 2 bowlers, you get an hour. 3 to 4, you get an hour and 15 minutes. 5 to 6 bowlers is an hour and 30 minutes. 7 to 8 bowlers is an hour and 45 minutes. So let's assume, you know, it's Lauren, me, and my daughter. So it's, you know, 3 bowlers, you get an hour and 15 minutes of bowling. For her, it's, you know, it's about $17 for an hour of bowling. And she loves bowling. You know, she kicks our ass at Wii bowling, but you know, you put the bumpers up on regular bowling, she's pretty good, and she enjoys it. We have a lot of fun doing that. We've done it past couple trips actually. This past trip we took her there for her birthday kind of celebration, and we did about an hour and a half there. Sarah Ford brought her niece. We had a lot of fun. So you're looking at, you know, $17 for that. So you kill that, you know, for those 3 activities for the day. I mean, that gets you up to about lunchtime. But for those 3 activities, you're looking at like about $40. And $40, you know, $40 for those 3 activities, that gives me plenty of room left for booze because, you know, Splitsville, you know, there's booze, it's happy hour. Yeah. You get a couple drinks. Their appetizers, their appetizers are actually pretty affordable. So like a basket of fries is, and their custom dip and stuff like that is like less than $10. So you can get a basket of fries, you can get some nachos. So
that price for the price for Splitsville, is that per like the time frame and not per game, right?
So it's per bowler. So they do it per bowler. So the more bowlers it doesn't matter if you have 5 or 20 bowlers. It's still it's still $18 or $22.
But is it for that time frame, like, or is it for each?
Yeah. So
they rent the
game that you bowl.
Yeah. So from open to 4 p.m. it's $18 a bowler. from 4 p.m. to close is $22 a bowler. The more bowlers you have, the more time you get on the lane. It doesn't the amount per bowler does not change. So if you have 7 to 8 people, you get an hour and 48 minutes. If you do it open to 4, it's $18 a bowler. If you do it 4 past, it's $22 a bowler.
For how long?
Price per bowler the price per bowler doesn't change.
But what's
Matt, think of it. You're renting that bay or that lane for basically an hour. But if you have more people that show up, they're all paying that price. But the length of time
you
goes
get a little
up.
bit more because Splitsville knows that they're going to get their money out of you. Because when I don't know if you guys have been to Splitsville and done the bowling, but when you go down to the alleys, they have bench seating, bar top tables, bar seating,
right?
And it's a full service menu there. You can get everything that Splitsville serves, so they know they're going to make their money off you, the food and the booze. I mean, their sushi is absolutely killer there, so they'll make their money out of you. So
well, I used to bowl league on a league and back where I used to live, and of course you have to practice a little bit, and those prices are comparable to what I would pay for because back home it was. You paid for how many games you played.
Yeah, and this is basically it's per bowler per hour. So the more bowlers you have, the more time you get, and it's still. I mean, I think we had me, my cousin. So you have 4 or 5. We had about 5 bowlers. We had about an hour and a half. I think it was $84 and some change for an hour and a half worth of bowling. We went this past week. About 5 bowlers.
5?
About $84 for an hour and a half. And then, we had food on top of that, but they take tables in Wonderland there. So, I mean, if you have tables in Wonderland, you get the food discount. You get the AP discount on top of that. So, I mean, it's a good family event there. And if you ask real nice, they'll change whatever TV is above your lane to whatever sports channel you want. So, if you want to watch, Arkansas get their ass whooped or something like that, you can change it. So
if it's football,
yeah, but it's basketball season now, and that ain't happening. So,
but so I mean, all said and told, we're in with those 3 activities, I'm at about $40 for the whole day. That leaves us plenty of flex room for food. If we're in Epcot during festival season, which is year round, but my daughter actually loves the veggie sushi at Splitsville. So, we'll go there. I'll have the veggie sushi, basket of fries, and a beer, and we're right at about $75 and some change. So, it's a pretty doable day for, 3 activities with a 12-year-old.
I love how when I outlined this, I specifically said you don't have to figure in food, and yet here I'm the only son of a bitch who didn't figure in food. Okay, well, speaking of drunks, Josh, you've got this 16-year-old, and there's nothing for a 16-year-old to do in Disney. So let's roll with that, huh?
Yeah, I think the first order is to take her phone away.
Oh no shit.
Well, the last time we were there, again, she would kill me if she heard me telling the story. But the last time we were there, she was taking pictures with it, and she did drop it and crack the screen. Oh. So there is that.
Don't worry, she can't listen to this because it's flagged as being for mature audiences. So that is a concrete barricade. There's no way to get around that.
Okay, well, that's true. We had Apple Care, so I mean, it wasn't anything bad getting it fixed. So thanks to everybody taking a lot of my ideas.
No problem, man. We're here for you.
That's what we're here for.
I had to switch to my backups.
You're welcome.
But what I want to know is, if I have an activity that the adults participate in that is one cost, does that count the whole cost, or can I fraction that out?
Oh, you can't fraction that because if adults weren't even there, it would cost the same amount.
Calm it down, Stephen Hawking.
What if the adults are necessary for the operation of said?
No.
Okay,
that
fine.
does not change that event costs the base amount.
Okay, fine.
Damn it, Josh, this is why we can't have nice things.
Hey, listen, if you hadn't stolen all my other things, I was looking forward to going to Winter Summerland and seeing Squirty the Snowman. Okay? So anyway, so how my day is going to go. We are going to wake up bright and early. About 9:30, we're going to get to Animal Kingdom, and we're going to do the Caring for Giants. We're going to
Nice.
Okay.
Yes, very nice.
the elephants. It's a little more educational for a 16-year-old. It costs $30, so it's not terribly expensive as far as Disney tours go. You get to go...
There's an AP discount, too.
There is an AP discount, or a Disney Visa discount if you don't have an AP. I think it's 15% with
Yep.
either one, I think. It's an hour-long tour. You get to meet the animal specialists, learn about the elephants, how they care for them. It's pretty good educational experience. It's only an hour, so it's not anything that's going to get super boring. You know, they'll be able to have their phone away for that amount of time when they're not taking pictures.
Don't you get to feed them too as well?
I don't know if you actually get to feed them, but because you're about 80 feet away or so.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're closer than you get to them in the park or on the safari or anything like that.
Is that done in their enclosure, in their elephant enclosure, or is that done out in the savannah area?
It's in their backlot area.
Yeah, as far as I know, it's back in the enclosure.
The area that we ran past for Wine and Dine, it goes right past that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
From what I hear, we did the private savannah thing for the Tiffin's experience.
Yeah.
The elephant's backlot area is actually almost larger than the area they're allowed to roam on the savannah.
I'll tell you
wow.
that's a state of
They
the
have
art.
a larger area in the back.
That is a state of the art facility there that they care for those animals. When we stayed on the savannah at Kidani Village every morning, you could almost see off in the distance where that building was. And every morning when we would wake up and we'd go out on the balcony and you would see them come in waves. It would be the birds would come in and then the zebras.
We saw them let them out that one morning, Josh. You and I were standing out there. We saw the giraffes and everything exit.
And they would come because they feed them in waves out there, and you'd see them come in different waves throughout the day, and then they would eventually lay in the shade. And they told us a little bit about some of the way that they care for the animals, but this goes in a little more in depth, and it's a nice little souvenir. You get some pictures you normally wouldn't get. So from there, we would find our way over by bus or Uber or whatever over to the boardwalk, and for $25 for a half an hour, we'll hop on one of the Surrey bikes that lets you take a counterclockwise loop around the boardwalk.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
We
did the series around Riverside. We did that one year. Yes.
I would say Riverside or Fort Wilderness.
Yes.
Yeah, they have them at Riverside, Fort Wilderness. They have them a couple places.
We didn't see those shits at Fort Wilderness. Sure, do they have those there?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they've got Tandem and Surreys, and
Dude,
Fort Wilderness is would be a great place to do it. Port Orleans.
Yeah, Port Orleans
My
is
kid
nice.
loved the golf. My kid loved the golf cart at freaking Fort Wilderness. I can only imagine putting her on a bike there. She'd have been in fucking hog heaven.
So you get a half...
the bike. If you get like 6 people on a bike, you're gonna really have to really struggle if no one else puddles.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, that is true. You get a half hour, and then if you go over, there's an incremental charge for X amount of minutes over. So you have a little bit of leeway. It's not, there's some room there. But it's great because you can stop over on the yacht club, beach club side, and you can take pictures, or, if you really want to stop for a drink, sometimes that might take longer than a half hour, but you could. And, it's really fun.
Can you get a walk and drink anywhere down there?
You can get a walk and drink anywhere down there.
Well, then it won't take much time at all. Just pull right up next to a cart, grab it, and keep pedaling.
There is Hurricane Hannah's right there outside the Stormalong Bay. There's a bar there. You can walk right up and you can get drinks. So you could pull the bike over, grab a drink.
They got the margarita joint right there across from Abacadabra, too.
They have the margarita joint, which serves some good margaritas and White Claws for anybody out there who's into those.
Ain't no laws.
So there are several places you can stop.
Sydney Burke.
You have a defined path. You can't go to the Swan or Dolphin, but you can do a couple laps, stop for a drink, sit on a bench, whatever, blow by some people that are walking down the hill, because the brakes on that thing are, they're a little bit They're a little tough.
They're touchy.
They are. So, we'll do that.
There were a few of us that fished that area last year.
Yes, sir.
I need to get out there and fish that. So we'll do that for about a half hour, and that's $25. And from there, we'll probably hang out on the boardwalk and do some other things. There's plenty of stuff around there. Spend a couple bucks. There's some carnival games that cost $1 or $2. You can win a prize, a teddy bear. There's entertainment out on the boardwalk. We'll stop and see and pass by ESPN. You can listen to some games that are going on and whatever. Eventually, we'll find our way over to Epcot. And assuming that it's festival season, which it usually is,
It's Epcot.
We're gonna
there's like 2 months that it's not.
Right.
Yes,
So
literally, yes.
2 months.
If it's
Literally
not a
2 months.
festival season, we'll have to change course. But being at a festival season, what we'll do is we'll grab passports. And, what do kids like more than cookies and Starbucks coffee when they're 16 years old? So get her a Starbucks.
Booze.
Get her a Starbucks pink
White
drink.
Claw.
Or
You gotta,
Especially 16-year-old
you gotta
girls.
start somewhere.
Frat parties.
So you get her a Starbucks
16-year-old
pink drink.
girls like 18-year-old boys. Josh, come on, man.
Jesus. Oh, God.
Oh my God.
It's
Josh's eyes. Josh's eyes twitching right now.
It's the Zima of the time.
So we'll get
White
her a
Claw
bag
is
of
the
Jolly
Zima of our time,
Ranchers.
isn't it, Matt? Oh, my God.
We'll get her a bag of Jolly Ranchers and some White Claw.
White Claw and Jolly Ranchers. Oh, my God. It is the Zima of our time. Oh, sweet Jesus.
Anyway, so 16-year-old girls, they love their Starbucks cookies, whatever. So you get them a Starbucks pink drink or a latte from Starbucks for a couple bucks, and you get a passport.
Couple.
Yeah, 6 or 8,
5.
whatever. That's a couple.
Yeah.
6, 8. Let them have their Starbucks. But whatever. Anyway, get the passport. And during the Festival of the Holidays, there's a cookie trail, which there are 5 cookies between $2 and $3 a piece that once you've eaten them all, you then obtain a free cookie at the end of it. So it's kind of a fun little thing, and you get your passport stamped. You try a bunch of different cookies. I think the cookie at the end is I want to say it's a Mickey sugar cookie with special frosting, and it's got
Sounds
the
about right.
Festival of the Holidays and whatever on it. During Food and Wine, they have It's a Cheese Trail. I don't know what they have during Flower and Garden.
We don't want to talk about the cheese trail, Josh.
No.
Why not?
I did that
love
with Mikey.
cheese. I love cheese.
I love cheese. There was very little cheese on the cheese trail.
Don't end your cheese
Okay.
trail on the
No,
vegan
there
area.
was cheese on the cheese trail. There was very little edible, decent cheese on the cheese trail. 'Cause we did the cheese trail too, and we were like, eh.
So I liked...
The raclette cheese wasn't bad, but there was no cheese in the fake meat.
I did not
No,
like the
not at
raclette
all.
cheese.
No, not one bit.
Also, no meat in the fake meat pie.
I
Makes
liked the cheese bread from the Brazil booth.
That was the
fucking
best.
That was
tasty.
good. But I did not...
That
And
was
you know,
it.
even
Now, if you don't get it
the
fresh,
bread was
it's not
good
good.
on
bread
that.
was really good. And then obviously while the kids doing the passport with the cheeses or the cookies or whatever, the adults can do the flights and stamp their passports too. It's a win-win for everybody. And all in all, I've spent about $75, give or take.
Oh, it just happened to be exactly $75. I'm just going to go with it.
He's phoning it. He's phoning it.
It was
in.
76 and 84 cents.
Well, see what it
It
was.
was
it's-
probably 75 before we all took his ideas, and now he's just winging it,
Yeah.
and I'm good with it, actually,
well,
because
I had the Surrey bikes from the get-go because that is something that we love to do. That is a lot of fun, and
That's something I've been meaning to try, and I definitely will do that next
Yeah,
time.
absolutely. If we had been staying at Riverside, that would have been a perfect thing to do. Absolutely.
so if you throw the Starbucks in there, I'm right at $75. So
the pink drink,
the pink drink.
for a couple dollars.
Well,
Couple.
that's what
That's
Yeah. good.
That's quotes. Couple dollars
Yeah.
at Starbucks.
yeah.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Well, that's You know, I will say, you know, we all did some research on this, and with the exception of Chris, most of us had unique stuff. Well, we had all your stuff. Matt and I did.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I will say, the wagon ride wasn't something necessarily I really thought about.
No. I didn't even think about that. I just
Surrey
stayed there. I didn't
bikes,
think about that.
the Surrey bikes weren't anywhere on my radar.
Surreys are awesome. That's definitely, if you are in the area where there can be a Surrey bike, do that. Yes, it's really
They're
cool.
a lot of fun.
Relaxing. And like I said, you know, there is a time frame, but I mean, you'd have to, you know, essentially push the thing to not make the time frame.
I will tell you,
You
though,
know, you could do it.
that when you hit those hills, over the bridges on the boardwalk area, like over
You really
World
have
Showcase,
to have
and
every participant to start to pedal.
Yeah, it's burning. If you don't, it'll burn your legs out. I actually
Feel
saw
like
some people.
Lance Armstrong with no nuts.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
I saw people get out and push when we were there last time because they just couldn't make it up the hill.
I
Really?
could not do that. I could not do that. I would suffer
Yep.
and go as slow as possible before I get off that fucking bike and push it up
Let
the
me
hill.
tell you what, when you make it up the hill and you get to the other side, you go down the hill, it is worth every second of that leg burning experience. It is like a roller coaster.
all that nice air you get.
Yep.
That breeze on the way down.
Right in your
and
face.
The one at Riverside takes you from, you know, you started at where like the big water mill is right there with the, I can't think of what it's called, but you start there and you go around clockwise and you come around the what's the other side called?
French Quarter.
The French Quarter. You come by and you see all those big, you see those big areas where you go, man, I'd like to stay there. But no, we've got the little place over in Riverside. But you know, you go over there and you go across the bridge. Man, it's just really nice, really nice.
Yeah, you get a nice little tour. If you do a French Quarter in New Orleans, the New Orleans Square and stuff, you get a good little tour of both resorts.
Yeah.
For the amount of time you get, because we were during the honeymoon, Lauren and I walked from one resort to the other, and we passed quite a few of those Surrey bikes just going back and forth. You know, they had a couple adults, adults and kids. Like there was a good mix of people, and they were trucking along, having a good old time. You know, one family was a mom and a dad, 2 kids, and the parents were bitching all up a storm because the kids weren't doing shit on the hills, and the parents were like, "If you don't start pedaling, we're just gonna turn this damn thing around." And I'm like, no difference.
My
That's
favorite.
funny because they don't just turn right around.
No.
My favorite.
That's where you want to stop and hold on to it and say, you know what, little fucker, you just need to start pedaling yourself.
Get your shit and get out.
My favorite is when you're
grow some
behind
balls and
somebody
start pedaling.
who doesn't know what a bell means. And you're pulling behind them, and you're like, ring, ring, jing, jing, and they're like, just walking. And then when you blow past them, they look at you like, what the fuck? And you're like, I'm ringing the bell, man.
You just ran me over.
I'm ringing the bell. Get out of my
You see
way.
me yell
Hell yeah.
like Captain America, and you yell on your left.
On your left, exactly.
Yep.
Well, I actually heard a few people yell that stuff while we were riding. We were walking, and people were like, on your left. You turn around, there's a friggin' Surrey bike.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
People do
there
it
was
on the
one
trails
family.
here.
It was 4 adults. There's probably a mom and a dad, and probably 2 teenage, college age kids. And they were like, on your left, and we moved over, and they went flying by us. I think they were taking joy in seeing how fast they could go on the goddamn thing.
Well, that's a lot of sandbaggers that do that. They they go into that last corral and just to see how many they can beat. Nah.
Yeah, it'll be all right.
Well, do any of you guys have an honorable mention? I'm sure Chris doesn't because we took them all.
I got literally like 2 left.
I
but
actually do.
Okay.
I have a couple.
Okay. Well, do them real quick, without a lot of detail, Chris. What have you got for honorable mentions?
The one honorable mention that they kind of breezed over the one, but it was the Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom. So, I've talked to Shan Nichols, and I've talked about doing this a couple times when we've been down there together. Apparently, it's quite the interactive event. You can kill an easy day in Magic Kingdom doing this. You stop by the firehouse on Main Street, USA. You sign up. You get your Sorcerer's Key card and the mystical map and the spell cards, and you start your deal. This says the note before you go on the Disney website says the players will receive 1 map and a pack of spell cards per day. Missions last from 20 to 30 minutes, sometimes longer, depending on the degree of difficulty. Source of the Magic Kingdom is included in your theme park admission. It says 20 to 30 per minutes, but from what I understand and for what I've seen walking around the park, not even doing this, there's quite the stack of people doing this because people like to collect the cards. They like to, they get the cards and the people, I've literally seen people with booklets of cards doing this. So it can take up an easy, good chunk of the day at Magic Kingdom.
I believe Adam is a collector of those cards.
Yeah, Adam is, Shan is. I know Princess Race weekend last year, Shan and I intended to try to kill a day at Magic Kingdom doing that, but we wound up drinking instead. Shocker. So we didn't get to. The other thing that I want to take my daughter to next time we're in the world is Rafiki's Planet Watch. They're running the train now. When you get back out, you get down to the Planet Watch section. They actually have a kind of a drawing with Imagineer type session.
Yep.
So they used to be a wildlife center with gorillas and all kinds of rehab and stuff. You walk around, you can look at the animals and stuff they have in the different display cases and stuff. But the center area now is kind of a drawing with Imagineer session, and you can actually sit down in the center area, and they have a drawing with an Imagineer type of session, and you sit down. They have the Imagineer sits down, he starts drawing, and you actually follow along with him at the table, and you draw, and then when you leave, you can take it with you, or you can have the option to frame it and leave with it, or you can have it shipped back to the resort. So that's something I would like to do with my daughter. I could not find a price on that. I don't believe there's a price unless you decide to frame it.
I think it's a sign-up thing to get to do that, but it's limited. It's limited.
Yeah, I mean, because we went there, they changed out. One group was leaving, and the other group was filing in, and that group was stacked outside because there's a petting zoo around the outside of Rafiki's Planet Watch, and there was already a solid line of people waiting to go in. And the one other thing I had that was, some kids are into it, some kids are not, is the fun runs at the resorts. The fun run they have fun runs at pretty much all the moderate resorts. Like I know New Orleans does it. New Orleans, the Port Orleans, they do it. It's a beignet run. You get actually beignets at the end. They're about $10 to $15 per run. But you run around those resorts. It's like less than 2 miles.
Yeah.
But at the end you get a medal. You get some little swag free. They take your picture. They post it on the website. It's if your kid's into that kind of thing, it's a thing to do. But they have those. I know Port Orleans have it. Saratoga has it. Key West has those kind of things. So if your kid's into that kind of thing, there's those kind of things to do. That's what I got.
I'm good. I had some honorable mentions. It's kind of, and when you said on property, if it's owned by Disney, is it on Disney property?
Yes.
Okay, so there was something called the Disney Wilderness Preserve, which is it's outside of Kissimmee, and it's a nature preserve. It's a little walking, self-guided trail. You go through and you can see all kinds of wildlife and study about. And the pictures that I saw online were, of course, it's the swamp area. You can see alligators and turtles and all kinds of birds and whatever, but it's this little self-guiding trail. If a kid is into that, wants to.
What's the price tag on that?
No, if you walk up, as far as I can tell, it's. If it's a national park, you may have an entrance to a national park, but other than that, it's you walk up and you do your own little self-guided tour.
That's pretty cool. I'll check that out.
Yeah, it's called the Disney Wilderness Preserve.
That didn't know anything about that. Good. New stuff.
I'll write that down. I want to check that out.
So
Josh, have you got like an honorable mention entertainment item?
I do. I have two, actually. Number one would be $55 to go horseback riding at the Tri-Circle D Ranch at Wilderness Lodge, or Fort Wilderness.
Yes.
Yep.
That was another thing that I
talked about that this past trip.
Yeah, that was another thing I thought of doing. Or, depending on if your kid likes sweets, go to Beaches and Cream and get the kitchen sink and see how much of it you can eat. It's kind of a treat and something to say, hey, I tried to eat this. And if you can't get reservations, there is a walk-up window.
Never done that.
There's a walk-up window, and you can get the adult milkshakes to go. They have a Guinness milkshake and Guinness milkshake with mint ice cream. Yeah, it's a milkshake with Guinness and mint chocolate chip ice cream.
Booze and ice cream. And,
I don't know.
Wait, Guinness beer with mint ice cream?
Yep.
Give me all of that. Give me all that.
And if you're...
That's like dark chocolate and the mint, Matt. That's mint chocolate chip right there.
I've said it before. I'll try anything once, but yeah.
Well, they also do.
So she's got a sister.
They do root beer floats with Not Your Father's root beer and a scoop of vanilla ice cream, which I don't know. That sounds a little sweet. But if you can't get reservations, you can still do the mini kitchen sink, which the full size kitchen sink runs about $34, and I think the mini is like $23, and you get to actually keep the cup that it comes in. It's kind of like Mickey's pants, that hold a whole shit ton of ice cream.
Mikey, did you have a alternate?
What you got, Mike?
Second opinion?
I did, and it's one of the. It was hard to cut this from my list, but I gotta say, and I haven't done it, and I've always wanted to, but don't overlook the fact that at a couple of the resorts, Fort Wilderness and Port Orleans, you can rent a fishing pole and get a little thing of bait, and you can fish off the docks at Port Orleans. Or there's a fishing dock at Fort Wilderness, and then all the canals that run around Fort Wilderness, you can fish there.
You can actually, from what I understand, you can actually rent canoes and fish off the canoes at Fort Wilderness as well.
I did not know that. And if you bring your own pole, you don't need to go and rent one, but it's like $6 for half an hour to rent a pole. They're going to sell you some bait. If you want to be smart, hit up a Walmart, spend $3 on some night crawlers, throw them in your fridge. You got bait for like a week and a half, or if you're like me, they'll still be there in a month. And you know what? Dumb fish will still bite them.
Hey, if they sell you their own, if they sell you their bait and they don't have to bait it for you, and you can do it yourself, there you go. That's worth it.
And like I said, it's $6 for half hour. I don't know who's. Well, I do know. If I got a 6-year-old and we're going fishing, I'm done in a half hour. I'll tell you right now, I'm done in 30 minutes. But really, you go for an hour, you're looking at $12 plus the cost of your bait. It's what the fuck was that?
Wow.
Chris,
was that you, Chris?
That was me. I can't imagine.
Yeah. Okay. That was my honorable mention. Then I've got what I call otherable mentions, because, like I said earlier, we're not going to be able to cover them all. But another key ones that I wanted to just kind of highlight real quick on my way out. You've got foot golf out at Oak Trail Golf Course, which is an Arnold Palmer golf course. It's a 9-hole golf course. You use a soccer ball and you kick it into the hole. It's $15 for kids, and I think it's like $19.99 or $19 for adults.
Where's that at?
It's one of the Disney golf courses. It's called Oak Trail.
Yeah, they have a special section of the area where they actually make on the green. They make the hole like 10 times the size of a normal hole, so that you kick a soccer ball into a hole.
Yeah. That sounds like the perfect drunk adult / sober kid event.
Yeah,
right there.
Yeah, that's down there in Disney World, and
hell yeah.
We've all talked about Wilderness Lodge and stuff, or Fort Wilderness and stuff. For $45, they've got an archery experience where they'll teach the kid how to shoot a bow and an arrow. And you get out there and you run through. You learn archery. You shoot at the targets. You have a good time. And free stuff. Don't undersell your own resort, because your pool during the afternoon will usually have some kind of trivia and games going on.
Yep.
For the kids, you got. I don't know if all resorts do it. I know like a lot of the moderates will do it, and some of the DVC resorts will do it. But you've also got marshmallow roasts every night.
Yeah,
and
I know.
That's no charge. You don't have to rent a stick or pay for a mallow. You show up and listen. I've been to these like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
Almost no one shows up to them usually, and it's a cast member standing in front of a fire pit with marshmallows and some bamboo skewers, waiting for someone to show up. And you've got in addition to that, don't forget you've got DVC stuff. If you're staying DVC and you're at a DVC resort, I know Chris mentioned they got like crafts and stuff like that at the resort anyway. But if you're DVC, you get into this whole separate area for DVC members, and they'll have an expanded selection of crafts and activities and stuff like that. And you'll have painting. We saw they had a thing where you could color with characters, and like the last trip, Captain Hook and Mr. Smee were at this would have been not the Grand Flow. This would have been
in Contemporary. It was in the Bay Lake Tower.
Bay Lake, yeah. But yeah, you had Captain Hook and Mr. Smee. They were down there coloring. There was no kids there, so they were just they were coloring and stuff like that.
That was awesome. Stephanie and I walked in there, and Mr. Smee was coloring, and Captain Hook and Stephanie was like, "Hey, can I get a picture?" And Mr. Smee was like, he and stood up and finally, reluctantly got a signature. But yeah, I've got photos of that.
Good ideas, guys. I know we got some out there listening who hadn't considered anything like this, taking their kids to Disney World, and that's what we wanted to touch on, and we molested the hell out of it tonight.
Yep.
We went full Kevin Spacey on this show topic, I think.
Oh my god.
Hey, check out magicalmeltdown.com for some new stuff. We got Princess Half Marathon coming up, and a lot of people are going to that. I just released the Princess shirt. I'm pretty proud of it. I think it looks pretty cool. Looks like a legit Disney shirt. And a lot of folks have said, well, I'm not going, or I'm not actually running. That's fine. There's no rules. Just buy it at this point. I'm trying to get to BFF, and teepublic is what's going to get me to BFF. So make it happen, Captain.
Yep.
And let's see here. In next week, we should have Tim and Adam back fresh off their dopey challenge with their Jello legs, but unlike Chris, they didn't just just stop at the end of the marathon. I believe tomorrow they should be in Castaway.
Tomorrow they're doing the Castaway 5K tomorrow.
Yep, they'll do the 5K tomorrow to finish out their challenge.
That's a stroll in the park compared to what they did.
Oh yeah,
you would think that until after you've done a 5, 10, a half, and a full, and then you want to walk a 5K in the Bahamas with the heat.
I've done a 5
You know what?
and a half.
I think walking back and forth on that ship is a lot of walking anyway. I know I've done it, so they're good. At this point, they're good. They've had a chance to recuperate.
That's money in the bank. That's money in the bank at this point.
Yeah, so
all about the
they'll
bling.
be back. We'll have some new stuff, coming out when they get back, and I hope everybody, sticks around to listen to it. So yeah, hey, let's do closing remarks. Chris, I'll let you start this.
Jesus.
Yep.
I really this podcast gets me through the week. I do a lot. I do HVAC for a living. I work on air conditionings. I do a lot of driving during the week, and I link it up to my car. I listen to it on repeat several times per podcast, and it just gets me through the day. You learn something new every day. You learn something. You pick on something you didn't usually hear the first time. You listen to the radio, you hear the same 5 songs, and it just kind of gets repetitive, but listening to familiar voices is just a lot of fun.
Except they always change. So,
well, I mean, but it's just listen to the voices that and the guys that you consider family. So I consider Josh family, Matt, Mikey, Tim, Adam. I consider all you guys family. I've hung out with all of y'all at one point or another. We've had drinks, we've shared food, we've had a good time at Disney, so you're family.
We've shared hookers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, only with you, Mikey, and we don't talk about that. It's the night we don't.
That's
talk
only because
about.
you're buying.
It's the night we don't. It's the night we don't talk about, Mikey.
If you're paying, I'm slaying, bro.
Yeah, that's true. 20 is 20. But you know, the podcast, it does a lot. You know, I mean, my obsession with Disney started way before the podcast and the group, but it's grown a lot since then, and you guys really are family. And you know, just going down to the world and being able to share my experiences with you guys, it means a lot. So, you know, we were there this past week for the marathon weekend, and Jesus, that sucked ass. 5'10" and a half and a full, and I'm fat and old, and that shit sucked. But, you know, having you guys text me, and even Mikey, who was like, you know what, you fat shit, keep walking. You know, I'm gonna beat you in the weight loss challenge. You
just had a snack, so yeah, I am.
I had a snack, yeah. Mikey's gonna win, but we'll see. But it was a lot of fun. Any trip down there with the Ohana that we've built here is a good trip. I know Josh.
You just call us the Ohana.
The Ohana.
Okay, because I swear you said Honda.
That's E-Honda.
Hondo.
We're all in one accord.
But
our love for
but
Disney.
Josh, Josh and I have stayed at Kidani together. We've
Honda.
Josh has been stuck with me at a resort, so he knows what it's like. But I look forward to BFF. I can't wait for BFF. It's going to be a ton of fun.
Buy shirts.
Yeah, please, for the love
buy
of
the
God,
shirts,
everybody
yes.
buy a Magical Meltdown shirts. We need Mikey at BFF. Buy the shirts, buy all the shirts. We need Mikey there. If not, we'll start a GoFundMe. Mikey will be there. And that's pretty much all I got.
All right, well, Matt, you go next then.
Hey.
With all the talking there.
Hey, that's fine. I love you guys. Love this group. To piggyback on what Chris said,
Crick said.
I've had a couple of whiskeys. My love for Disney started when I was a kid. Right. And just this group has brought everybody together. We've what am I trying to say? We actually approved a few members today. So our family is growing. Everybody is supportive, especially with the running. This last week, I can't believe how much everybody is just loving it. I guess the only thing I can say is, with all this negativity in the world that's going on with whatever you're doing, all I have to say is just positive energy. Just send it out to everybody you can think of. Just positive energy.
Well, Josh, instead of facts, give us some closing remarks, please.
All right. I'm just going to echo what the other two have said. This group is... I look forward to posting and reading everything that comes up in this group every day, more so than any of the other Disney groups. We don't get a lot of the same repeat questions and repeat opinions that come up in the other groups, and everybody sort of knows everybody's personality and gets along with each other and has inside jokes, and there's just a lot of good going on here. We've grown exponentially since I joined. And even with the size that the group is, it's there's just so much. It's such a close-knit community, and I enjoy.
I mean, the raw is a perfect example.
The raw is a great example. I enjoy all the camaraderie in there. I enjoy coming and guesting on the podcast and listening to the conversations that happen every week and kind of bringing them up in the group and answering people's questions and giving recommendations and talking about food and drinks, and you just can't get that anywhere else. It's just such a great spot to be, and it really pushes my Disney obsession to the limit, which sometimes can't be good for your waistline or your wallet, but It is what it is.
All right. Well, that's gonna, I think, round us out for closing remarks. Thank you guys for coming in, filling in, being on the show, putting together some fucking awesome days with your kids. That was a lot of fun. I think each one of us got a new idea from everybody else, on this, and that's what's important, because we're content to find a place that's got a cold drink and to sit down and watch people, but kids aren't that easily entertained necessarily. If you don't have a cardboard box, you got to come up with something clever, and Disney is full of something clever. So again, thank you guys for being here on the show. And as we end, I want to thank each and every one of you for listening to the show as we help you adult around with Disney tonight, adults with kids. So in closing, I want to say, remember, this isn't goodbye, it's a see you real soon. So good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night, guys.
Good night, everybody.
And thank you.
3 sheets, you have one new voicemail message. Playing new message.
Hey, Three She's, it's Kayla. I'm sure you saw my post about watching Cats. We went into it drunk because we knew it would be bad, but holy cow, we didn't know it would be that bad. I was drinking the mermaid juice out of a water bottle, which is tequila mixed with whatever the mermaid mix at Home Goods says. So wanted to call and say hi, and holy shit, don't go see that movie. Just don't. Please don't. Wait till it's like free on Amazon or Netflix or something, because I feel like I lost like 2 hours of my life. And I am quite drunk, so I wanted to call and say hi. Alright, so she's spam. I will keep posting on Facebook because I'm obnoxious like that. Love you guys. Love Disney. I love that you guys are all drunk Disney fiends like we are. Thanks. Love you. Bye.